she sails unseen. Eyes like ice with a glimmer so keen. She guards the secrets of midnight skies, adventuring where dreams arise. Frost on her wings like diamonds bright, she dances through the endless night. Whispers of old tales in her wake, serene the dawn she'll break. She weaves spells with every breath, a touch of magic defying death. Serena song in the coldest air, an ancient rhyme that finds us there. From mountains high to silent seas, her power's packed with the winter so keen. She guards the secrets of midnight skies, adventuring where dreams arise. From mountains high to the silent seas, her power's packed with the winter's breeze. A cloak of snow she softly wears, Rena in twilight flares. A legend born of frozen tears, carved in silence through the years. Her story echoes in each break, serene and hard she'll stay. She weaves spells with every breath, a touch of magic defying death. Serena song in the coldest air, an ancient rhyme that finds us From mountains high to the silent seas, her power spreads with the winter's breeze. A cloak of snow she softly wears, an ancient rhyme that finds us there. An ancient rhyme that finds us there.
There we go. Now we got sound, not just lip syncing. Okay. So, welcome back, my lovely snowflakes, or welcome in if you're new here. It's already super scuffed today because I got super distracted while playing Sims 4. The new expansion came out, and I've been doing some building. And so, we are back in the Sorrowverse with episode 7. If you would like to catch up on the stream, dear God, this is freaking acting funky. There we go. Maybe. Okay. Okay. If you would like to catch up, it is on YouTube. We should do a small synopsis of where we left off, though, here in just a moment. if we can just get into the thing. I am a little frazzled right now, but we'll make it through. Everything will be fine. Okay, there we go. Oh, and time to swap avatars. Da 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 da. Where the frick are you, model swap? Okay, I'm ready whenever y'all are now.
You sure?
As I can be.
Sounds like you're not very sure.
So my mic apparently also was not connected at first, so I had to reselect my microphone. Despite the fact that I did not mess up, that I did not take the OBS update, it decided to fuck all my shit anyway. Boy.
Good, Miss Wilson.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's swap this. Make this turn a little bit. There we go. Let me try fixing. There we go. It's gonna just be awkward, apparently. Should help if I reposition my stuff in a normal spot. I had to move it so I could actually use it while my cat decided to lay on my desk.
He's just a little tiny baby.
I know, he's adorable and I love him, but he is annoying sometimes. Yeah. Maybe my glasses are too dirty. Oh, right. I should probably also get the
There we go.
roll 20 up.
I think we're just waiting for Kazu question. Kazu. I think you're still getting caffeine. Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yes, I am, but I also didn't realize I was muted. Haha.
Wonderful.
Wonderfully over there.
That's what I mean. I've
We
been almost
love that.
scatterbrained today. Alright. Ooh, it's good.
Dang it.
All right, who wants to recap?
Let me see. I think I can.
Okay. It's like I did it last week.
I just need a hint, and I can remember what happened last week. It's all very event-based memory.
Yeah, so last week, our dear lost souls made their way back to the capital after successfully completing the mission that was given to me by the oh my god, I'm forgetting her title. It's Blank Wardeness. High Wardeness. Sorrow. Upon returning to the city, we found many, like an army gathering in front of the city. And we met up with Honor, question mark.
Yep.
Yes.
Informed him of the situation and why Creed was with us. We made our way into the city via Sorrow's personal airship after moving past the immense gathering of soldiers outside the city. I forget what the head count was. The approximation was.
It's thousands.
Oh yeah, thousands at a minimum.
Yeah.
Upon making our way back into the city, we were confronted by Horror, who was not happy with us for imprisoning his younger brother. He demanded a duel with Sorrow for his brother's freedom. Sorrow accepted the duel and named Stefan Sabo as our champion. The duel went to first blood. Stefan won, and Horror, in his short-sighted foolishness, tried to attack Stefan, to which Sorrow casted some kind of spell that... I say some kind of spell because my character, Sparrow, canonically does not know what power word pain is. That caused him to convulse violently with pain, and he too was taken away. We then had a debrief with the High Wardeness. She rewarded us with money, our freedom, and a magical item from her memory of our choosing. We all chose our items. We had dinner with an esteemed guest that we actually met on the road. Mr. Underhill, a gnomish?
Halfling. That's it.
Halfling? A halfling.
Just slightly taller.
A halfling carpenter, if I'm not mistaken. Who was delivering a shipment to her. We had a wonderful dinner. We experienced there were some spars and duels, some words exchanged about combat and the nature of fighting and combat and what it is to be a warrior and what it is, and also what it is to be a knight. Then we were confronted by Sorrow asking if we would like our employment to be permanent. And we decided that it was time to share some things with each other while we deliberated over our decision. These things being the true nature of ourselves and who we are, important information and people's interested parties that would be looking for us. In the case of who we once knew as Absolution, now we know as Belladonna, her family of assassins, terrifying, highly trained assassins that she is on the run from. And in the case of myself, Sparrow, a otherworldly Fey patron that I took my leave from without permission, who was hunting me. As well as the nature of ourselves, that is to say, in Sparrow's case, the odds and ends that his patron took with designing him, such as unnatural feathering, eyes like stars, quite literally eyes like stars. And in the case of Belladonna being possibly the only changeling that we've ever seen.
As well as her base form being a tiefling.
And we left off, I believe, on the group's sentiment being they would like to stay, but they are worried about the consequences of staying.
Real quick, briefly skipped over my highlight of the night. We also
Yes.
crept in through the garden area and to find some kind of privacy first before talking dirty secrets, and accidentally stumbled into the hut of a Stefan Stefras senior, was it uncle?
Yep.
Yeah, the uncle of the Stefan Stefra that we all know as the head guard, the people's champion. Yeah, nice tea time. It was very nice. Van is definitely short with his words. But still, a personal highlight of my night.
Yeah, the man was very to the point. We also had a nice cup of tea.
Mhm.
And
Right.
I believe, yep, that's where we left off.
And yeah, Absolution wants to stay because it is the safest that she has ever felt and is probably the safest she's going to be. Rather than being on her own without resources.
Mm. Sparrow's inclined to stay, but is very, very worried about the safety of. I'm very worried. He's very worried about the safety of his newfound friends and a potential new employer and coworkers. Though they are spiteful, touchy, and vengeful beings, especially his patron.
So you have that conversation that night, and so this is all before going to bed. And she basically said, "You can give me your answer tomorrow,
Yeah.
sometime."
Had really, the player had really hoped to get that answer immediately because I would have loved to see the look on her face, but the party was unsure. So
Already didn't know for sure, and they thought they should think about it for a moment.
yeah, it would have been so fucking funny if she was like, "No, please, I understand." And they go, "No, we're ready."
Your Honor, we're ready with the verdict.
I was so excited for that. That's okay.
To be fair, I think she would have insisted that you have the conversation about it beforehand anyway.
We already did. Anyway, yeah, that's Wood Bees. For now, I believe we're all owed a long rest, a very long rest. Oh my god, soft beds after all this.
I'm sure
Ah.
Faye also was just like, "Oh my god, I have been traveling with two like really big future."
It's whatever. We're all absolved of all of our shit. It's fine. The only thing I'm really worried about is being attacked on the way side by somebody who does not care about me. Fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
I'm sure
Like,
Faye will have plenty of existential crises throughout the campaign.
yeah, but not tonight. Tonight it's bedtime, and also I have a day with a blood vial.
Yep.
Yeah, go attune with that magic item.
No, sleep first. Take the 4-hour meditation, thanks.
Goodness gracious.
No. First order of business, nap.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? After all of this, plus we have to parse whatever the fuck that was just now.
Yeah, we have to deal with the whole there's so much shit, so many things.
Ah.
There's a guy just living in a hut in the garden.
Yeah, there's a man living in the hut. There's a man living in the hut in the garden. So, how long have we actually been like? How long have we actually known each other in game? Because it's been more than the month we've spent with Sorrow, because we knew each other on the road too when we were imprisoned.
It's been, what?
Yeah, for about a month and a half.
7
or so.
weeks? Yeah.
2 months.
Month and a half, 2 months, yeah.
Actually, I'd they're closer to 2 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 months and change.
Gonna get 3 months. 3 months. Going once. Going twice.
I mean, it is a long trip in a caravan.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. If nobody has any qualms, I'd like to take the spotlight because I only need 4 hours to get a short rest or a long rest.
Yep.
Because I also fit in a tuning short rest during that time.
No, absolutely, dear.
Because this is not an easy choice for Faye. This is power. It's sacrifice for power. This is not. So despite spending most of that meditation period thinking about what about her companions really actually bothers her, the last hour or so of it is wrestling with the idea of sacrificing blood to attain power. It's not a thing she's ever thought about before. It's not sacrifice is not yet in her character. And she's aware of this. So she takes some time after waking up. She spends about an hour after meditating just pondering, thinking, looking at the blood well, wondering if it's a good idea. And eventually, she grabs the vial proper, very ceremoniously pops the top, grabs her dagger, the thumb over the vial, and it's just a little poke, like one in the modern era might do a glucose test. Just poke, drip, drip, deep breath, sealed. And an hour contemplating the greater nature of things while she attunes to the item. And then probably arts and crafts afterwards. This is her spellcasting focus now. She's probably going to wear it around her neck.
Yeah. Does she just have a cord on her, or does she ask somebody for a cord?
She's going to have to ask somebody in the morning. By her count, she's got about an hour and a half left before anybody's reasonably awake. And that's an hour and a half she could spend thinking about how she feels about what she just did. There's no undoing it. I mean, there is, but there's no undoing it. But still. What would you? This is about being strong enough to stand toe to toe with your friend's adversaries. They did spend the better part of a night talking about the things that scared them the most. And for both of them, it was retribution.
Write that down. Write that down.
And she may not care for the power, but she is ready to punch somebody in the face. It is slowly becoming her motto. Nobody expects the spellcaster to throw a hand. But she wants to be ready no matter what.
I cast Phase Unexpected Haymaker.
Wait, what? Punch. Listen, sometimes you just need to throw hands.
Alright, we took everybody's weapons. We've taken everybody's armor. We've taken all the spellcasting focuses. Nobody should be in any danger. There's not a single monk at this party. Hey, 14 strength. I'm sorry, what?
I still need to play a game where I play a monk where somebody, like, it's like, you must leave all weapons at the door, where my monk character gets just picked up by one of the other characters and put on the table.
The monk stands respectfully outside. He cannot disarm himself.
No, it's gotta be a Warforged monk, so he can.
So, yeah, they spends the last hour and a half, not so much meditating as it is contemplating.
It's
A
thinking.
lot to unpack.
It's thinking with her brain head.
Yeah. In fact, there's so much to unpack, she probably breaks out the notebook.
Starts working on that thesis again.
Work on the thesis, write it out like a journal, some stuff that's bothering you, put your
Oh,
priorities down on page. A lot of reasons to pull out a notebook, dude.
Are you ready to go, by the way, Rena? Okay, so Faye, as she's beginning her contemplation, can actually hear movement out in the hallways.
uh, Contemplation and internal crises aside, curiosity wins. She opens the door just to take a peek, see if it's servants or if it's somebody else.
Yeah, it's servants. They seem to be doing some things, like taking linens to refresh something.
Yeah.
And
They
just some minor cleaning in the hallway.
Yeah. They just casually slips the vial into her coin pouch because that's the closest thing she has to a pocket that she currently has on her. And pokes her hat out to get the attention of somebody. It's like, "Hi, excuse me."
One of the serving girls kind of looks over and goes, "Oh, what can I do for you?"
I probably should ask somebody else this, but does anybody have any spare cord? I would like to do some, crafting. I'm not a Jew. I can't just make these things.
She smiles and says, "Give me a moment." And she walks down a hallway, makes a turn, and a few minutes later, she comes back holding a cord.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Anything else you need, just let me know.
Not until breakfast. She takes the cord.
Will you be requiring a bath before then? I could have basically I'll go pick up some water for you.
Actually, yes.
And she nods. She says something to one of her companions. They do the thing. They take all the linens, they move them to where they're supposed to go, and then they disappear off to get the water.
Father God, and Faye's going to very quickly realize she has no idea what the fuck she's doing. like, like she does the basic thing where you just like wrap it around, no knot, tries to pull it tight. Not very good at this. I should have been paying more attention when I was younger.
I've never done this before.
Okay, I am back at my desk.
Oh, beautiful. It stops stalling.
Fantastic. You also trance, so you're hearing this commotion in the hallway as like the water gets brought up.
We need to get Sparrow something that lets them also rest in 4 hours instead of 8. We can really power through anything.
Power naps, man.
Yeah. The
It's too early
cat
for all
nap.
this noise.
Do you stick your head out and say that, or are you just saying that to yourself in the
Just
room?
saying that to myself in the room, honestly.
Actually.
Hey, you're blocking the camera, Tails, and also you don't need popcorn.
But cats like popcorn. It's a known thing. Gotta pay the popcorn tax.
Yes, but the butter is not good for him.
True.
I mean, I don't think he cares.
It's not good for us either. Anyway, while she's waiting for the water to come up, she's going to sneak over, stand in the hallway, and just knock on Solution's door. With, a cord that she cannot tie and the blood well vial in the same hand.
Tails?
Solution, dear. Are you up?
Yeah, you're making a lot of noise. Not that I wasn't already awake anyway.
You're muted, baby? Yeah, you're muted.
God damn it!
Yeah.
Tails, stop!
Cat moment.
And I don't hear the sound because I don't streamer mode, all that jazz.
Yep. I get it.
Yeah, I've been up for a while. Also, the noise.
Yeah, that's life in a big castle. May I, can I get some help?
What is it this time?
Kind of help you need, I can't give you.
Yeah.
Do you have a better idea of how I could hold my new focus to me? She holds out her best attempt at tying a knot on this cord around the vial.
Absolution will just like shake her head, take both of them. She'll like double over the cord, loop it, pull it through the little loop on the pendant, and then pull it through the loop, pull the other end through the loop to create like not even a knot, but just a like hoop. There, and then you can just tie it all, and then if it's big enough, I can tie it, and you can slip it over your. Actually, I can do a slip knot. And she tries to slip knot through the back.
I will eventually get a proper class for this, I think, because I'm a little short-sighted. I think I'll be taking it on and off. A lot. If only to bathe. Anyway, thank you.
Can you stop trying to steal my food?
Oh man.
And the moment she spots her bathwater coming in, she'll run back to her room.
Yeah, they bring it in and they're just like, "Would you like help, or do you just want us to disappear?"
I think I need alone time this morning.
No problem. And they get the water in and heat it, and they're just like, "Okay, you're good to go."
She she bathes herself. It's more of a soak than a bathe. She's just enjoying the heat. Eventually, she will clean herself, but the first, like, I don't know, half of this bath is just.
Ah, yes, water with warmth.
Yep. Red dragon scales enjoy the warmth for some reason.
But no, I think Belladonna will, after leaving Faye, head over to the gardens just to get fresh air, take in the scent of the flowers and all that.
You run into a very limited crew of some of the servants who usually give you like a nod and sometimes an inquisitive look or like a "Hey, can I help you with something?"
Just gonna
But other than that, you
walk
are
through the
left
gardens.
alone. Where are you going in the gardens? Are you going back to the place where you found the belladonnas? Are you looking for the cabin again? Or are you going to an entirely different part of the gardens today?
I think I'd probably go back to the Belladonnas.
And as per last time, there are benches there.
Yeah, just sit in like quiet contemplation.
And well, the two of us who don't need to sleep hang out, when does Sparrow wake up?
A very good question.
Does you wake up before or after the knock for breakfast time?
I think before. Before, definitely. It's just he's he just spends the morning in quiet contemplation, I think.
Well, what's with this party and the introspection?
I don't
He's
know.
got
Maybe
back
it's
on the
trauma.
side.
He has a lot. He has a lot. He has a lot to think over, and for the first time in a long time, actually has like the time and need to think. And with that is coming some certain realizations that he hadn't quite fully. I forget what the word is. There were realizations that
No.
he had, but that he hadn't fully. Or what's the word for processed?
Internalized.
Internalized, yeah. Internalized and processed. And one of those things that is kind of giving him as much cause for alarm as it is that he's like, oh, of course, like this doesn't surprise me at all, but also it worries him. Is that after the conversation last night, he started thinking a lot about where he had come from these last couple of months in this place, and remembering now that he can only remember him as him, and that the figure in his memory is now just a, a silhouette. And internalizing and processing that. And contemplating, is it worth it? And just going back and forth in his mind for about, I'd say, for a little bit. But I think eventually, he, eventually I land on what I'm going to do. I decided I was going to be free, so I'm going to be free. Specifically, I was going to be free from him. So I can't let a fear of him pain me.
After giving the entire party some time for introspection, there's a knock on Faye's door, a knock on Sparrow's door, and a servant approaches. Absolution.
Rest fix time, it seems.
So it seems. Or at least so I've been told.
Well,
Startled, bat
keep our
sound,
host
just
waiting.
flashing of water, like, oh, shit.
It's
In response to that from Absolution, by the way, she says, "Oh, I wouldn't, but I am nowhere near as brave as you."
I'm brave, not stupid.
Which you get to laugh.
once more into the fray that is left. Very well. Time to get that move on.
All right, as you guys get there, you find Sorrow sitting in her usual spot. You find Sir Stefan sitting to her direct, immediate right. And you find several other people of the household just taking seats, sitting, chatting. Holding some minor conversations. And Mr. Underhill directly to Sorrow's left with his wife.
Couldn't have it any other way.
Taking a seat. Taking a seat. The mask is still back in my room.
It was only temporary. Operation Strike the Cat was only temporary.
Woo! There we go. Hold on, please continue. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sparrow grabs the
Oh.
normal vegetarian assortment at breakfast when the food comes out, and is just tapping a tune with a fork on the table.
Yep, she having fallen half asleep in the bath. Finishes up for breakfast. Cleans herself off. Really gets good and dry this time. And then yeah, takes her leave. Uh, doesn't see either of her compatriots until breakfast time, so no chance for a pre-breakfast. So we're doing this or no? Which is fine. She'll just catch everybody after. And, yeah, to the same degree, takes mostly the vegetarian option.
If it's not already taken,
Less fruits,
absolutional. Oh, sorry.
it's fine. Less of the fruits and vegetables and more of the cheeses and breads this time.
If it's not
What
taken,
you were saying,
absolution
Rena?
will take the seat next to Mrs. Underhill and just commence in small talk. It's like, oh, when are you leaving? Blah blah blah. Hope you have a safe journey. All that jazz.
Oh, it's like, oh, we're leaving today. It's just, I'll ask breakfast and some other things in town before we leave.
I really hope you enjoyed your stay here.
Always do. Sorrow's extra nice. He wants me to stay here.
But you gotta get back to your inn.
I do.
And I wish you every success with that.
Sorrow shoots you a playful look. You're supposed to be on my side. I, for one, hope it goes under, so she has to come here to cook for me. Big smile. Lots of laughter.
Yeah, I feel like that likelihood is not high with how great of a cook she is.
A girl can dream, can she not? But yeah. So most of the breakfast just kind of goes through its normal paces, and eventually there's some peach cobbler. I don't know who would want that.
Totally
No idea.
not. No
Well,
idea.
Nobody's sure who that's for.
Not sure how he doesn't go into a
no.
sugar coma, but.
Uh, just superior. You
Can you stop trying to steal my
superior
popcorn,
powers of
boy?
body. Anywho, is the Roman back?
Does not appear so. They are still muted.
Sorry, I
Big.
got hungry and ate them.
Yep.
Well, throw them up. We need them back. I gotta wait for the NB to come back for what I want to do next.
Yep.
As much as they say continue on, it's like, well, I mean, there's only, like I can't.
Only so much we can do when I need to talk with both of the other player characters.
It's just like I need the full set of 3 of you to continue on, and
there's but 3 of us. If anybody's missing, the story actually can't.
the story has to stall for just a second there.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially if I want
players, I could probably.
Yeah.
I could probably stall a little more efficiently with 6 players.
Right.
I can yap some ears off, but
Bro, I
still
can
need to add
yap.
Sparrow. Yeah.
I can
I still
yap,
need to add
bro.
Sparrow if we're gonna hang out, do this, like.
Bro, Cosmic, you
Yeah.
know me. I can yap with the best of them.
No.
And actually, I can yap better than most of them, okay?
True.
I mean, if we need to fill time, I have ways to fill time.
Down.
Okay.
Yeah, like, if I'd had, like, a couple more players, this would be really easy. Just fill time with some idle chatter and whatever, but, like,
Yeah.
I got 3 players. I don't have 5 to 6 players. I would need 5 to 6 players to make this work, but, whatever. It is what it is.
This is what D&D
Maru,
looks like.
have I ever told you the most egregious thing I've done with an artificer?
No, and I do not care to hear it this time.
Okay.
I'm not really looking to fill time so much as I'm just commenting on, like, I could actually continue to run the game with something like 2 to 3 more players.
Because this is what D&D actually looks like. It's none of that like stuff that you see on podcasts that's heavily edited. You know all those jump cuts? This is those jump cuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right here.
This
This is what they're jump cutting away from.
Mm-hmm. When
And,
you
like-
hear
Go ahead.
when you hear in the behind the scenes shots of Dimension 20 that they have 6-hour recording days, but the episodes are 2 hours long, this is why.
A lot of people just being off task and, well, people being off task.
Mm-hmm. Both Dimension 20 and fuck, which Matt Mercer's one? I've been blanking again.
Critical Role?
Critical Role. Both of them. They should take frequent breaks. So, specifically, so the players can keep their focus for the important parts. It's like a 15-minute break every 2 hours or so. Plus, there's table talk.
Yep. That table talk will really get you sometimes.
Table talk will run away from you sometimes, and it's just a desire for the players to continue to hang out even when they can't focus on the game collectively.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimately, it's good for the game because it means that your players will be engaged. They're not going to step on each other's toes. There's no petty bullshit. A little petty bullshit.
Just a little low.
Just a little. But less than if you don't let them talk.
Yeah. Also, all of the petty bullshit is funny.
Yeah. You want it to be funny, it's fucking hilarious. Well, shit.
No.
I can do half the conversation,
Nice
but I
shot.
already know Belladonna's answer. Hitting you with the, hey kids, we doing this? We taking up the offer? Yes, no? Bella's, yes. Jazz is, yes? And it's that question mark that we need to clear up. Breakfast would be a great time to do that. That should be an okay time to do that. Would be a
It would
great time
typically
to.
be it would typically be a wonderful time to do it.
Would be a great time to say, "Hey, we need to meet in private later, so I can share some concerns before I accept your offer." But Arrow's not here. I'm really starting to think they might be dead.
I didn't give them permission to die though, so they better not be.
Yeah.
Really, boy? How many times are you gonna try before you get the idea?
A lot, by the sounds of it.
Just a few more times, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Sorry.
Hey,
Are you sorry?
I'm only
Yeah.
facetiously mad at you.
I am. I'm just
Um,
actually mad. I'm just actually very angry. How dare you?
I can hear it in your voice.
Alright, anyway. A nice, pleasant breakfast. Everybody's more interested in the food than the conversation, which is fine. It's supposed to be a big day for everybody. Uh, fucking Faye makes a point to, are you both down? Just, come find me after breakfast. Followed by just powering through said breakfast.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So,
Just a pretty nice breakfast. Some idle chit chat. Because honestly, a silent breakfast just sounds terrifying.
silent breakfast sounds like an easy way to have a breakdown. Sparrow has nothing to say at breakfast. Uncharacteristically quiet.
Lots of things are being said at the table, though. Anyway, because
Nothing of import, really, though.
yeah, lots of idle conversation, basically.
Yeah. Uh, just I believe that is a cue for the next scene.
Yeah. So at the end of breakfast, there's a thing that happens. Sorrow stands, bids most of her guests farewell, and then looks at the three of you and says, "Would the three of you mind joining me?"
Of course.
Wouldn't mind at all.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So she ends up leading you through quite a bit of the house back to that office that you'd seen the night prior.
Mhm.
Alright.
She sits instead of behind the desk at the chair, as she did yesterday. She actually just sits on the desk facing you, leaned forward, much as she did the first time you met.
Hmm.
I am curious to know your answers.
Look straight at Sparrow. Like, well, you have questions. Hmm?
It's just so. I only have one question that my answer hinges upon the answer thereof. If my former employer, who is no doubt looking for me, as I left without their leave, were to find me here with you and yours, and they were to demand that I be returned to their service, and I was none the wiser that they had found me, what would your answer to them be?
My answer? You see, if somebody wishes to leave my service, they may. But none will be forced to. So my
And it,
response,
uh,
it
sorry.
would be to tell them just that. If you do not wish to leave my service, you will not be. And I am curious to know, though, what kind of former employer did you have?
My former employer was an extraordinarily important figure in the Fey courts.
Hmm.
And much Fey, To be precise, though, last night, while I was deliberating, I tried to scour my memories. Threat assessment, you understand. But I found I could not remember his face or his name. I assume that's his doing. We are still connected, after all. And I'll lift part of my shirt up to show my navel and show the pistol that's embedded where my belly button should be.
An archfey. Well, that would pose quite the difficulty, wouldn't it?
Are you worried? Should he come knocking?
No. I would emerge victorious.
Then I know what my answer is. And I'll look to my friends.
Raised eyebrow.
I would like to stay here.
And Faye looks to Sarah and says, "Well, that's it then. We all agree. We would like to remain in your service."
Yes, I much prefer the security of your service to the unknown of going off on my own.
Having the benefit of such knowledge, okay, that was a lot of mic activation from somebody. Having such knowledge will definitely always be preferable, I think.
Ah, um, I don't know. So,
Well, with that decided, I will need a couple of days to find a suitable assignment for you.
Of course.
That's quite alright. I think we need a few days to get used to the idea.
Well,
Now, I think I would like to take this opportunity to see a bit more of the city. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I saw the market square before, but
No, I actually had intended to go this time, since I had been too busy studying last time.
um, it's my first. It's still my first time, and a city such as this. So I'm always, I'll admit, I've had my curiosity.
In that case, since you're here, since we are still in your attendance, would you mind finding somebody to guide us through the city? Show us around. So,
Yes, I can always assign somebody to take you through the city.
would be most appreciated.
I will work on that detail right away.
Hey. Well then, let us. We will show ourselves out. We will meet whomever at the front door, and
A
I will
moment.
need.
Now,
Yes,
to inform you of things on your end that you will need to keep in mind, I will invariably send you all over this continent to do various things. Sometimes to collect a thing, sometimes to collect a person, sometimes to gather information. But no matter where I send you, or what for, certain discretion is necessary and advisable. Not every mission will pay the same. Some will pay more, some less, all denotable by level of risk and difficulty to accomplish. Now,
Hmm.
knowing what I know about the pursuit coming after two of you, certain precautions must also be taken. We are, in a way, fighting a war. But at the same time, there seems to be a war brewing that is coming to us from an outside force for the first time in 100 years.
Hmm.
Now, of course, my father sees the threat. He also managed to bring the armies together under a different pretext. There are certain nobles and other members of the royal line who
Mhm.
have disloyalties and think to rebel. He's using this as an opportunity to essentially kill a second bird with the same stone. Likelihood that I put you onto an objective to first deal with this is very high.
Hmm.
There will be certain fact-finding missions that need done. And who better than the three of you, all of whom can speak charmingly?
Aw.
But, that said, fact-finding often comes with some amount of threat, because there are those who would rather that information not get out. You'll need to be prepared to defend yourselves.
Oftentimes, information is your best weapon and your best resource.
Don't I know it? That is what I trade in. I don't trade in coin, I trade in information. and influence. She says, ironically, surrounded by the opulence that a fortune allows you.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I do believe that above anything else, the three of us are capable of defending ourselves should any of our investigations turn hostile. At the
Of
minimum.
this I have no doubt.
Particularly when they don't, particularly if those who seek to do us harm do not know what we are capable of. More so even than that same rule would be true for every and any individual. I believe it is exceptionally true for us.
And I
I have
personally will do my best to remain as unknown as I possibly can.
easier for you than most. You have a way of fading into the backdrop.
Hmm.
By the way, I have no way to get out of my head the hostile. I'll show you hostile.
I'll show you hostile. Yeah.
You're going to try to kill a public servant. Next time, use American. Yes, I would like one hard line, please. Anyway, so with that, you're dismissed. I will find appropriate accompaniment for you into the city.
1,000 thanks.
She nods, and she walks out the door in front of you, and then just seems to know exactly where she's going to find the people she wants.
Of course. It is her house.
Yep. This is why Faye was paranoid about scrying spells.
Our words inspire confidence, to say the least.
So slightly off topic, but now I'm just imagining someone tries to attack Sorrow in her own home, and I'm just imagining the freaking Odysseus in the at the
I
castle.
know my palace, I built it.
Say that again, Roman.
You don't think I know my own palace? I built it.
If you haven't listened to the Ithaca saga, I highly recommend.
Some few minutes later, while you guys are at the front door, having put on the boots, shoes, whatever it was made for you by Sorrow, you are joined by three individuals. One, not in armor, and two, in their full kit. You recognize Melser in his regular day clothes.
Ah, Melser, it's nice to be traveling the city with you again.
And with you. The city is my home. It's a lovely place to show off. And for the two in full kit, there is one of them you recognize, despite the helmet. And that would be Creed.
Oh, Creed, yeah. We'll eventually remember everybody's name.
Ah, and Creed. By the way, is this your first time in the city, or have you been here before?
He just nods.
Not a yes or no question, but whatever.
He lifts his visor and just manages to stammer out I've never been to the capital before. It's first time.
Then you're in kindred company, my good man. Before we head out, I have to make a quick stop by my quarters. See, I feel safe sharing my visage with the lot of you, but when it comes to Sparrow, I look out the window. Them. I would rather my feathers, and I'll trace a line over my cheek where the feathering starts, be made of wood.
Yes, of course. Please. Anything that you need before we go. I think I forgot my coin pouch in my quarters anyway. And I think if we're going to town, I might want to make some purchases.
I was much the same. I exhausted, of the same mind. I thought it would be in my best interest as well to find a good Fletcher while we're in town. I don't want to have to rely on Mistress Sorrow for everything, after all.
Of course not. And I thought we might possibly, if we're out long enough, try out one of the market stalls for lunch. Or unless there's somewhere else that you guys know. Looking at the other two guards.
I'm sure Mouse has some idea of where to find a good bite to eat in the great capital city, no?
A good bite to eat. I know some excellent places to get one.
Fantastic. Well, I will meet you all. I will meet you all by the front entrance, and I'll give a flourish of the feathered cape, and turn on my heel and go to my room to retrieve my mask. Retrieve my mask and my daggers. Leave my bow.
When everybody is reconvened, Mouser leads the way out, and the two in their full accompaniment of gear, to include Creed and a guard that you've seen before, but, aren't familiar with,
Yeah.
kind of fall back a little behind you guys, showing that, yes, these are individuals that are being protected by Sorrow.
Hey, do I remember? You said we remember that guard. Do I remember him sparring?
Yeah.
Was he good? Did he win?
I mean, he won some, he lost others.
Hey,
But like all of Sorrow's guards, the answer to are Sorrow's guards any good? The answer to that is the same as do bears shit in woods?
yeah. I mean, relatively. Win the fight.
He's about average so far as you can tell for Sorrow's guards.
Right.
Just middle of the pack.
That's fine. I have my spellcasting focus.
Which also tells you he's middle of the pack for Sorrow's guards.
Yeah.
For Sorrow's guards. This is one of those things where the low end of the pack for Sorrow's guards are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And while they're walking, Faye's like playing with different, like, put the vial in her shirt. Should I leave it out? How does it look good? He's looking to y'all for answers. Like, look good like this? Is it better hidden? Does it work while it's hidden? The
What color is it?
blood vial, so it's just a clear vial with her blood in it.
I would suggest to keep it hidden.
Yeah, probably.
Things
Especially-
blood red in color tend to be a little suspicious.
Everything.
And Bowser chimes in himself with a, if you do not let people know how powerful you are, they'll underestimate you when they pick the fight. If you let people see the power you have, they may be deterred. I think that is the choice you are making.
Yes. Well, to the former, she lifts up the side of her shirt to show the fucking red scales again. It's like everything on me is blood red. There is no hiding it. The blood matched the scales on my hand. Does it look good as an accent piece?
Not with those colors of the cloak.
Mm.
You can have those switched, though.
Mm-hmm. Think for now, until I'm positive on how I need to look. Clothing to accentuate the accessories, as it were. I think I'll just keep it hidden. Tucks it in her shirt.
He guides you guys through the kind of labyrinthine parts of the city, and he's barely looking. Like, he doesn't seem to be thinking at all as he's just guiding you guys through all of the streets.
I understand why all of the guards can manage the labyrinthine nature of Sorrow's prison. Well, no, it's her. Yeah, it's to the prison.
Yeah.
Because they have to all manage the maze-like nature of the city first.
And her house.
And her house. It's all mazes. Everybody here is mastered the labyrinth.
You mean you haven't made a mental map of the places that you've been?
I haven't been here.
Bowser smiles. When I was a young child, I ran around these streets all day. Every day. Into my teenage years, I used my knowledge of the streets to escape the city guards more than once.
Sounds like you are quite the rambunctious scamp.
He has a, slightly dangerous smile and says, I may have, gotten away with more than my fair share of things in my day.
Isn't that relatable?
Just small nod. But he kind of avoids the market square for now, and is just showing you some of the more beautiful bits of the city. Different, open courtyards with big fountains and statues. And he's just talking about the history of the place.
I get it.
And then he just randomly kind of points off down one alley and goes, and I had my first kiss down there.
Ooh.
I think that was too long ago for me to remember.
I almost said something. Anyway, but no, he just continues to wind through until it's getting close to midday, and then he veers you guys towards the market square. And he says, oh, and you said that you wanted something good to eat.
Doesn't
He
everybody
points,
these days?
he points out a stall across the way and says, they do all kinds of fruit pastries, they do a meat pie, and they keep honeycombs, actually, for sweetening. And he just hands you guys a fistful of coins. Says, the lot of you should go and get whatever you want. Get a meat pie, a honeycomb, and an apple tart for me. I'll stay here.
Absolution will kind of like a raise an eyebrow as she takes the coin.
Passive insight, he looks a little sad.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh no, my character sheet crashed. I can't. Hold on. By fault. I know what I did.
But no, that tracks for all of you. All of you can see he's just a little sad.
Yeah, I'm just curious if I should push this. Let's see, how's my insight? Yeah.
Oh, I suppose we shall return forthwith then with lunch. I won't pry for now.
You say that out loud.
Yes.
Let's be on our way then, eh?
I was waiting to hear back from Kazu if he's gonna.
Oh yeah, I'm going right with them. Sorry.
Okay.
You're not gonna pry either.
I was just along for the ride.
As you guys make your way over across the courtyard, the people running the stall look up. They see the two guards flanking behind you, and they don't really have much of a reaction to it. Just go, "Oh, that's interesting," and then look at you guys and go, "What can we do for you?"
Well, suppose we start with Mausers, huh?
So we'd place a master's order, and then I would be like, and I'm fairly new in the capital, so what would you recommend?
What do you like?
Just about everything.
The man thinks for a moment and goes, "Do you like things with hot peppers?"
Yes.
He turns around and gets to making, like switching around some ingredients to make a hot peppered meat pie, and putting with a side of it like a peach tart and a honeycomb. And he says, as he's handing it to you, he says, "This used to be what I would give my son. It was his favorite before he disappeared."
Disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
Oh.
poof into the night, or genuinely missing? Not my story, actually. Don't mind me.
He was friends with the wrong crowd.
Ah,
Well, I am happy that you
Awesome.
are willing to share with me such a absolution would think of the correct words. My brain is not braining right now.
Fond memory.
Yeah, fun memory.
Those old friends of his, they swear he's still around and alive, but I think they killed him. That's enough of such weird talk.
Ah,
What can I get for the rest of you?
I'll have what she's having.
I thought you didn't eat meat.
Oh, yeah. Eat. I don't prefer it. But I'll
Oh,
try anything once.
are you sure? We have various fruit pies.
You see, like, beneath the mask in their eyes, like, that violet, almost nebula, looks like it starts twinkling more. Huh. Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
They give you a pick of the different fruits, and then recommend a tart to go alongside it
Mm.
with a honeycomb.
Faye does Mauser's order: the meat pie, the honeycomb, etc., etc., with full intent to split with bits and pieces with the rest of the party, so they can all try everything.
Mhm.
She didn't say that out loud, but
Yeah. And then Krieg steps forward, and he makes a request of like 2 of the meat pies, 3 of the tarts, and uh, like 3 honeycombs to go with the different tarts. They laugh.
yeah,
The man and his wife laugh as they look at each other and go, "You eat like he did." Which Krieg seems slightly flustered and flushed with about, and kind of steps back and hides behind his visor. The other man just orders a simple apple pie and then like a lemon tart to go alongside with a honeycomb.
is it insight if I want to make a connection? Because I know Faye knows a big eater. Is it possible that is it possible there's a connection? we
Uh
we haven't met Stavros' parents yet.
oh, well, you know from history that his parents are dead.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're right. Well,
So
that's what a big
Absolution,
eater.
on the other hand,
Nah, it's fine.
is thinking either Mouser is the lost son or knew him, one of the two, because she knows some things about
Yeah.
him that the other 2 members of the party do not from her first time to the market.
Just rocking now.
Either way, it takes a couple of minutes, but they get everything sorted out and hand it over to you and wrapped, and they give you a total, and it is significantly less than the fistful of coins that Mouser gave you to pay with.
Yeah.
I have the feeling that Mouser's intention was to leave the change.
You don't even really need an insight check for this. Yes,
Keep change.
they look like dumbfounded. Like, no, this is way too much.
Sure you listen.
You've dealt
Absolutely.
with Mistress Sorrow, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I've heard of her generosity, but I've never. Huh.
Just kind of waving it off.
They're kind of sitting there dumbfounded for a bit before another customer comes by, and then they're right back into their swing of doing their thing, but kind of looking at you guys like, what the hell just happened? As you're walking away.
Well, the end is
So I guess we meet back up with Mouser and find a place to sit to eat.
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
going
There's
to we're not going to make that a habit, are we?
No. A little too flashy for my taste.
Good.
But I didn't want to hear it from Mouser if I came back with change.
as you guys get to him, he signals you to follow him, and he takes you guys to a mostly empty courtyard that has some benches.
And thus we feast.
Mhm.
Indeed. He eats his meat pie, which notably he didn't order the hot peppers in his,
Yeah.
and he had an apple tart instead of. But he's looking longingly towards what Absolution has,
Take a
like
bite if you
for
would
brief
like.
moments.
I most likely won't eat it all myself anyway.
Oh, I couldn't impose in such way. I ordered the way I ordered, and that means I must live with it. Yes.
You know he misses you. Thinks you're dead.
I am.
I'm guessing in a similar way to the fact that I am dead.
Precisely.
As am I. But I don't even know how many years ago I did. The Feywild is a tricky place. But just as you, I'm supposing, just as you were not always Master, just as you were not always Absolution, I was not always Sparrow. But I suppose in my case, in a very weird way, I was not always Sparrow, but I was always me.
I took his name.
This fruit pie is exquisite.
They all was my grandfather's 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 recipes.
Were they refined over the generations, or did they get it right the first time?
Well, to hear my father tell it, his grandfather hadn't gotten it right yet, but his father did. It's been refined a little bit by each generation subsequently.
All those little changes that can be made.
Yes, as time passes, so does the culture's taste. Something fascinating, but not worth a whole paper.
Uh, he's and looking at Absolution, he says, "I took his name, to start the new life."
Oh? Your
Yeah.
grandfather?
My father.
Your father. Ah.
He'd given me my grandfather's name in the hope that I would restore some honor to it. My grandfather had. Well, let's just say that my father wants to be proud of the name again. I couldn't do it. I ended up becoming more like him. My hope, though, is to be more like my father now.
Sometimes we choose a name as what we desire.
And sometimes we choose the name we already live. Hey, Creed. Creed looks blush, like, da.
Oh god, I gotta adjust.
I'm being talked to and looked at in a social situation. Ah, but he manages to stammer out. I'm just looking to do credit to an old legacy name.
I thought of doing the same, but I thought it best that I not put that forward.
Sometimes it can be for the best.
Would that I could. Would that I could use the name that my parents gave to me. Though, not only is it not indicative of who I am anymore, you know, there's, extenuating circumstances that make it unwise to speak my name.
Out of
But I can
character.
understand.
Hey, bullshit.
Listen, Phelan had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, it's like Joe Hendry, but instead of like me appearing, my patient appears. Because through Fey magic fuckery, there are exactly two people that can speak their full name. And anytime it is spoken, somebody hears it.
Somebody. But no, the meal continues for a little bit longer, and you can tell that Mouser is just savoring every single bite. Meanwhile, Creed is shoveling down food.
You know you can savor it. You know you can savor it out loud.
I somewhat threw a mouthful of food. I am a taste for riches. And Mouser smiles, laughs, and says, "You do eat them the way I ate them." By the way, he has no idea that his dad said that.
Yeah, I figured.
There you go.
Which actually causes Creed to stop for a second, look up, squint, and then big eyes like, "Oh my god, I just put that together."
not the smartest.
Absolution will just
Oh.
kind of tilt her head to the side and look at Creed like,
Definitely not the
He was a little focused on the food, okay?
not the brightest bulb on the lighthouse.
like, geez, in my profession, you would have been dead.
I must say, Creed, your prodigious nature as a knight and your uh, nature as a young man are constantly at odds with each other every time I look at you. Do not take it as insult. It is fascinating. In a good way.
Him
Freaking
just eating, trying to get everyone to stop staring at him.
Yeah, I'll take my eyes away from the poor lad.
Poor lad.
Oh man,
You tired, Mario?
it's been a day.
Fair, fair.
It has been a very long day.
I will not lie to you. It's been a day.
Yeah, I realize. uh,
Yeah. So through all the little bit of conversation, Krieg finally finishes his food, catching up to everybody else who had significantly less food to start with.
Very much so. Good lord.
And so the good man that is Mouser takes you guys up and leads you into the first of many shops that do exist outside of the market
Yeah.
square.
Let's fucking get it.
What kind of a shop do you guys think he takes you into first?
It's
hmm.
What do you guys want?
that's a
I think
very good.
every good shopping should start at the general store.
Yeah, so 110% really, yes.
Okay, so first to a general store. You walk in and are immediately greeted by an older gentleman who looks like he's been running the shop for the last 50 years of his 60 years of life. And in that, like, he looks like he's a pretty strong guy for a 60-year-old man. And he just comes right up to you and it's like, oh, welcome to Gregor's General Store. I'm Ander. What can I do for you?
Figure out, like, I caught that, but you know what? Just new in town, taking a look around. Every general store is a little different.
Um,
You're new in town, but a couple of your companions aren't. Well, that one I don't recognize. And he's looking directly at Creed. But either way, I am familiar with the Mistress Sorrow and her various guests that warrant such protections. I hope you'll find what you need and you want here. What exactly do you think you're looking for?
Sparrow actually reaches into their bag on their hip, rummages for a moment, and pulls out a piece of parchment. Do you have these items in stock? And on that list is rope, tinderbox, chalk, whistle, handheld mirror. Those are the things I could think of.
So can you type that into a list for me?
Yes, I will absolutely send you the list.
You know, Faye's poking and prodding, looking for the adventuring kit, potions, spell scrolls, etc. Jesus, I think good on torches. Oh shit, she never got her manacles back, did she?
She did. They were delivered back to your room.
Sick.
I'll
Second pair
wave
of
my
manacles.
hand for that.
Yeah, it's okay. Second pair of manacles is probably helpful. Last time there was 2 of them.
There was indeed 2 of them last time.
I mean, daughter probably gets the second one just so that she doesn't have to go like grapple slap. Okay, now you grapple slap. It's much cooler if we both do it at the same time.
Absolution is mainly just like browsing and familiarizing herself with like what's available in the area and remembering the path to get here, things like that. Information, it's valuable.
Yeah.
Knowing your surroundings, also very valuable.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like getting the lay of the store so she can figure out like maybe like when she does need something. Check what's actually in my inventory. Oh, you know what? I know what she could be looking for.
What would she be looking for?
Funny as hell if she had caltrops.
You know, I don't think that'd be funny as hell. That's just me though.
That is the list that Sparrow pulls from their bag of holding. I had to actually go pull it up because I was looking up
Give
stuff.
me
And I'm
a
like,
moment.
what are things I should have that I do not have on me?
It's out of my control, though it might be hard to begin
What else does they
again.
need? Oh, that's it. It's
Write
just caltrops,
myself a
basically.
brand new story with a happy end. I
Only to
survived.
make an encounter
So
funnier
tonight-
than turning a terrain dangerously difficult.
Okay, so you hand this list to the man, right?
Mhm.
To Ander. He takes a look at it and just
Just write a general
gives.
story, right? Just
Huh?
if you have anything on that list, it would be most appreciated. I'm not
Mouser,
expecting to find everything in one place.
Mouser looks at him, gives him an eyebrow, and says, "This is Gregor's General Store. We have it." And he just disappears into like a back room, and you can hear like things being moved, shifted around, and as he disappears out into the back room, you see a collection of small grandchildren, you're assuming, ranging from 6 to 9. And there's 7 of them who seem to be walking back around with various things, handing them to customers.
Ah, true family business. This one much more wholesome.
Yeah, Faye's still looking for scrolls to add to her spell book, really.
I believe I can actually also, unless you want to, tell me how much all that is going to be, Maru. I can use my character sheet to deduct how much that would be, because it tells me how expensive. Because MPMB tells me how expensive all that stuff is.
I use the computer for this.
After a couple of minutes, he returns with everything that you were looking for in a box that he has wrapped with a cord and just hands it to you. And then says, "Anything else the boss of you are looking for?"
She she pulls out her spell book, which none of you have ever seen her use. Just scrolls would be nice. Tap tap.
Just the parchment scrolls or things with spells already on them.
The ones with spells. I'm looking to add to my collection.
That would not be my domain. I have a cousin, though, who owns a shop down, well, a few plazas, but you'll find him there.
I'll find him. I'm sure I'll be able to get there, no problem looking up Mauser like we're going. Doesn't have to be there, but we're going to go find some scrolls. I need help.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. How big is this box?
It's a pretty big box.
How big?
Like 2 feet by 2 feet.
I'm putting it in the bag. The whole box. Yeah, so
No,
just
putting it in the bag.
Yeah, they open up the thing. I'll take them all out individually later, but for now, I can put the whole box in the bag, and so I'm not carrying around the box. The point was, am I going to have to carry around this box, or can I fit it into the bag of holding?
Nah, it fits in the bag.
But when you go to try to pay him, he just waves you off. I'll put it on the Mistress Sorrows tab.
Stop looking at Mauser like this good? Like a wild concern.
Like, Mouser seemed entirely unconcerned.
Hey. Yeah. Hey.
He's actually looking at you funny, like, what, you didn't expect that?
Being preserved is a privilege I am never going to be used to while staying here.
The old man seems to be eyeballing Mouser. Son, why do you look so familiar to me?
Ispa?
Mouser just looks at him. No idea, sir. I've been in here a time or two before, but that shouldn't be any reason for you to remember me too well. Last time I was in here was years and years ago. And the old man seems to just look at him, eyes narrowing. Well, I can't quite place where I'd know you from, but you look familiar.
I think my Goodman just has one of those faces.
No, he doesn't.
I'll give Mouser a glance like, I tried.
I gave it a shot. Well, far be it from me to judge the soft-handed pretty boy from knowing what the people look like, and he gives you a pat on the shoulder as he goes to walk to do other things. Anything else I can do for the lot of you, or are you going to stand in the middle of my store for all of time?
Oh, we thought we'd stay here for all the time.
Well, if you're going to stay here for all of time, you can get to work.
But maybe we should see ourselves out. Thank you.
No, you're here now. Mana! The little 7-year-old girl comes up to him, and he kind of kneels down, looks at them, and says, now, since they said they were going to stay here, they're now going to help. Can you teach this young lady right here how it's done? Pointing at Phelan. And this poor little girl doesn't know what to do. She's like, why, she's bigger and older than me, which means she knows more than me? What do you mean I'm going to tell her what to do?
Well, she's also an elf, so really we're probably considered about the same age as you in our society.
And she goes, and then she grabs Faye's hand and starts to drag her towards the back.
Glare. Death fucking daggers.
You got yourself in this mess, you can get yourself out.
What's really funny is upon hearing elf, this little 7-year-old starts motor, like, full speed, full tilt, 100 miles an hour in Elvish at Faye.
Oh, I hold that conversation straight up.
She's excitedly telling Faye about this is the first time that her grandpa has let her into the shop to help.
Aww.
And she's so excited.
Oh yeah.
And she says everything started in a particular way, and she's just explaining the sorting system.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you remember that the most important thing that you can do in a shop is keep it organized. Remember that.
And she starts telling you about the history about Gregor, her great 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 grandfather, who opened the store.
Huh?
Who apparently specifically gave the store to her grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it another Gregor? That was her great great grandfather. She wasn't sure.
Doesn't
Actually,
help
you'll
when they
find
have
out
the
one
same
day.
name.
Faust, sorry. Ender eventually comes over and says, "Okay, sweetie, you've told her and helped her enough. That's great. She'll be back tomorrow to start her first day. Pat, run along and get the things." He's just smiling and proud. He said that in fluent Elvish, by the way.
That's totally fine. It's like that's. Taking a minute to like stop and process. Like it is good that your grandchild, I assume, is so excited.
They're good workers, the most of them. Don't tell them I
Yeah.
said that, though. I like them to think they're lazy runts. And then a 13-year-old boy comes coming in and starts jabbering at Ander, obviously another grandson, in Draconic. Fluently.
I speak that too, crazy enough.
I
What did
actually
they
do
say?
too.
Oh, he's just like, oh yeah, I made the delivery to the XYZ shop. Like, like he just names another shop. What's my next thing? And then Ander just goes, grabs a couple of packages, puts them in his arms, and tells him that he's going to yet another shop to do something in Draconic. And just shoos him back out the door. And the boy goes running off.
He does her best to pretend like she didn't hear that. Not really her concern, but it's interesting to hear people speaking Draconic out here.
Do you show any amount of interest?
In what? The store thing?
Yeah, just the fact that it was Draconic being spoken.
She definitely like raises a brow. So like, there's definitely a curiosity in her eyes.
He looks at you real casually and then asks, "In Infernal, do you speak Infernal?"
No, that's not.
Now I gotta go check my sheet. I don't think I do, but I'm checking my sheet because I took some weird ones. No.
Absolution
Responds
over.
back.
She does not, but I do.
He switches to Elvish because he knows that you both speak that one. And just says, "Oh yes, I teach all of my grandchildren the different languages you'd have to use in the city. With specific interest into Common, Infernal, and Draconic, which are the main administrative languages, but they will also learn," like, he just starts naming languages, Elvish, Halfling, like, just down the thing. Because to provide proper service to the various demographics of the city and the realm as a whole when they're visiting, you must be able to speak the language.
Agreed. I still need to expand my repertoire a bit more to catch up with you, but I think I have a decent start.
I barely speak any of these languages. He says in literal fluent Elvish.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'll tell you what.
Specific phrases and
Just out of pure curiosity, she's gonna ask in Drow sign language. I picked up this and be like, I picked up this one a while back. It's a little bit less common. And see
And
if
he just-
he picks up on it.
He taps the side of his nose a couple of times and then just fires back, "Yeah, I learned from a trader long ago."
Impressive.
Did you sign that back to him, or
Yeah.
he says, "Not really. I'm barely fluent." Which is what he'd tell you in every language he speaks.
In Giant, I'll say it's not often you meet such an established polyglot, even if they are barely fluent.
And he just looks at you and says, "In Giant, it's very strange to hear such a tongue coming from one so small." Note,
I don't
he
know
is
that one.
barely
So-
he's about an inch above. He is like half an inch above 5'6". He's not a big dude at all.
Then we are agreed.
Well, I believe we've taken up enough of your time. I think we should go see the other shops.
I wish you good fortune in finding what you want. He says this again in common.
Proceeds.
Gives a bow and points you towards the door. Looking again at Mouser like, I do know you from somewhere. Where the hell do I know you from?
You should have come in the armor today, Bowser. Seems everybody wants to know who you are.
I know not why Sorrow assigned me to this task, other than my knowledge of the city and its streets.
I
Why is the chief thought
I
you were
have
being under
a
interrogation?
hunch. I have a hunch. She'll just say offhandedly.
I'm curious to hear what your hunch is.
Sorrow has her way of getting underneath people's skin sometimes. I haven't figured out her reasons for it a lot of times, but I have noticed it.
Might be to test people, to see what they'll do when put in situations. I'm not sure myself, though. Sometimes I think she just thinks it's funny.
Might be that she wants you to live again.
He looks kind of sad at that mention, and just shakes his head. Like, slowly.
Maybe to remind you that you... Maybe just as a reminder. I'm not sure what a reminder of. I don't know you, nor do I know her well enough yet to make true educated guesses. But I'd keep that in mind.
A good observation.
What's up?
But he leads you down a couple of courtyards, and then you see the sign for Gregor's Magic Supply.
Hey, you think these related?
Maybe. Just maybe.
Or perhaps it was the other Gregor. Anyway.
As you go in, you hear a bell announce your arrival. As it hits the door, you see, like, this is a smaller, more cloistered shop, and there's vials of all sorts of different things on the walls, different plants. There's some wound up scrolls off to a side, set aside with different inks and quills and pieces of parchment as well. But no shop keep to be seen.
It's okay. The speed at which Faye finds herself in front of the scrolls and the ink. Like, before she even spots them, she's in front of them.
You hear a voice off in the distance from, like, the back of the shop. Those don't have nothing on them. So you're gonna try to steal something worth trying it for.
No theft today, sir. I have money. I also want to point out, before anybody comes out, that she's still wearing Sorrow's cloak with the obvious Sorrow insignia on it.
Yeah. An older man on a cane, looking to be somewhere in the range of 70 years old, comes hobbling by. Ah, I see you bear that distinctive mark. What do you happen to be looking for?
She's taken aback by that, like, huh? Oh, right, yes. She lifts out her spell book, which again, nobody has seen her use. She's casted multiple spells. She is a sorcerer. And goes, so she holds out her book, all the same, and goes, just looking to expand the repertoire. You know how it goes. Traveling means no ink. You need to buy ink, buy the right supplies, and a scroll eventually.
So you're looking for ink, a scroll to write upon, or a scroll pre-written?
Ink and a scroll pre-written. For transcribing, you understand.
Which spell?
She pauses to think, because that's a hell of a question. Well,
Reason I knew it was an ant.
let's start with disguise self.
Don't have it.
Sorry, Bowser, I tried.
You say it out loud.
Yes.
His eyes flick towards Mouser and he squints. I know you, boy.
See, this is why I wanted the scroll.
Your name and the where and the how for. I don't know, but I do know you, boy. Mouser's like, you're mistaken. I've never been in this shop. You don't need to come into my shop for me to know who you are, boy.
Hey, we didn't flush this out ahead of time, now that I'm looking at spells. I know that you let me have a spell book. Am I still bound to sorcerer spells? I assume so. Wizard spell is bigger, so I figure I might ask.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to keep you limited to the sorcerer spells.
Totally fine.
Just for the
That
sake
works.
of yeah.
I get it. I just wanted to make sure.
There might be an
before
exception later. I think it's a little early to start making exceptions for that right now.
I understand.
Oh my gosh, Seraph, hi!
I'm making sure because I'm pulling up.
But he looks back at Faye and says, "Well, nothing for you here. Move along, lass."
Thank you so much for the raid. We are a little over 2 hours in.
Hold on. Kaz is browsing the spell list inventory because I was not necessarily prepared to find spells today. What else does she want? You want... Do I have Hold Person that I picked up when I was leveling up?
Unfortunately, my
think you
sound
did.
alerts are not coming through
I
to
think I
me
did
right
too,
now.
but if I didn't, that would be an excellent time
We
to
are
fix that
having
mistake.
somewhat of a shopping
No, I
episode
have it
currently. And my freaking tracking keeps getting messed up by my kitten.
Too. I said disguise spell. I think the actual spell is alter self. Yeah. Oh no. Alter self is the second level version. Right.
It does more stuff.
It does more stuff. We don't need that hard. Yeah. Did I pick up shield? I'm pretty sure I did. Yes, I used it already. Yeah. Oh, I don't have, but I always love taking. I'm gonna ask if there's a Thunder Ray scroll taken about.
You asked about Thunderwave?
Yeah, Underwave.
Don't got that for you neither.
Can I roll an insight on this man? I feel like he's
I was about to
Yeah, feel
say,
free.
angry
yeah,
at me.
like,
Yeah, I feel like this man might be upset that I'm wearing Star Insignia. Dice roller. Actually, means it's +1, yeah. Yep, great. 18.
Yeah, he's grumpy about like the sorrow insignia and the fact that he's looking at somebody in Mouser that he definitely knows that he knows but can't place.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, if it makes you feel any better, and she pulls the cloak off, folds it up, and gives it to Sparrow to put in the bag of holding. All this for me, would you, darling?
Matters not what you wear. You hold the spell. You hold the smell.
Regardless, I'm here of my own accord. This isn't a shopping trip. Just exploring the city because I am, in fact, brand new here.
You work with or for sorrow?
I have in the past, but not currently.
Then I have no need of your business. I hope the
Very
door
well.
hits you on your way out.
Fine.
mental note to ask
She
about
doesn't
that
even
at
bother
some
with the
point.
retort. She just walks out. No point in dealing with a hostile merchant.
Yeah.
Just
mental note to ask about
whatever.
that later for
If it's
sure.
business side because he's stubborn old fool, that's fine. I should have taken friends. Anyway,
Friends.
yeah, I should have taken friends. Oh well.
Oh, I suppose that is.
It's just the way it be sometimes.
Maybe
I
sometimes.
guess that is the more
It's
practical
probably not the
side of
first time she's had to deal with a
things.
hostile merchant. Also, really good at pissing people off by simply existing.
yes.
We love fantasy racism. Yeah, you need to be outside. She needs to be like flustered and frustrated, but like it's ultimately no biggie to her.
Yeah. Mouser actually looks just as pissed off.
Yeah, no. So just well then. That was a unique experience.
I knew it
Will
was
not
inevitable
be
that
the
there would
last
be
time,
some in the city that were not fond of Mistress Sorrow, but
unfortunately.
Fucking hell.
Still, hold on to that cloak. I feel like this is going to happen again.
Okay.
If it happens
Oh,
again.
Serena, you're muted.
God damn it.
If
Oh,
you
yeah,
didn't.
Serena is muted.
God damn it, Tails. I don't even remember what I said now either.
Oh, were you muted during that whole interaction then?
I don't know how long I was muted.
Because I didn't hear a word out of you during that whole interaction with the merchant.
So I muted myself, like hardware muted, to address the raid, but I don't know how long I was actually software muted.
That's fine. You didn't have anything to add to that, did you?
Not
I was
really.
gonna say, when did you start speaking?
I don't remember.
Was it after he was a dick to us for no reason?
It was definitely after he was a dick. But I would have realized very quickly by his demeanor and what he was looking at that he was not a fan of Mistress Sorrow.
Is that a common sentiment?
Depends on what you mean by common.
As in, is every 2 out of 4 individuals we meet in the city going to harbor such feelings towards Mistress Sorrow?
Really, it quite depends. There are those who dislike her for one reason or another. Usually for the reason that she's imprisoned a fair number of people. She's done her job well and efficiently. More efficiently than some would find acceptable.
Well, there's no helping it.
Hmm?
There's no helping it.
Yeah, well, it's impossible to be liked by everybody, and to attempt otherwise is to either be absolutely spineless or a tyrant. And I don't see either in Mistress Sorrow.
I might have a little
Yes,
bit of bias, but I have no reason to believe that she would abuse her position, which I'm sure is a majority of the accusations levied against her.
It's
I think
like,
people are more likely to blame those in positions of power than they are to confront a reality they don't agree with.
not to mention Mistress Sorrow is quite intelligent and sees things in a very different way to the layman, which can make it difficult for them to wrap their heads around events happening. I mean, I get whiplash from it myself.
I'm going to admit that I would be sooner to say that a comrade of mine was being framed than to admit that they had done anything wrong.
But I think we've looked at more the necessities. Perhaps we see a couple of frill shops, or shall we make our way back?
I I had only wanted to perhaps find a reliable fletcher, but I can save that trip for another day.
Wouldn't be too much of a problem to find one. There's one not far away from here. One of Sorrow's suppliers. So we're guaranteed for some welcome.
Even so, I am admittedly frustrated. I had hoped to add some spells, or at least get some spells for some single use. You know, it's important to be able to have that flexibility out in the world, especially with interesting parties coming after you two.
He shrugs and just says, well, can't win every engagement.
No. So frustrating. I'll get over it, but
I
I
do
think I'm
think
going to have it.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
It's like, I do think I may wish to find a seamstress myself. There are many times that I realize that a good seamstress is good to know.
Well, the best I know in town actually lives in Sorrow's Manse. It seems Sorrow agrees with you on this. Bless you.
Thank you.
Please stop dying.
No.
Well, I mean, if you insist. But he leads the way rapidly down several different alleyways and streets. And you find yourselves in front of a shop proclaiming itself to contain the best arrows this side of the Great Woods.
If it's one of Sorrow's suppliers, I wouldn't doubt it.
Everyone's
Usually, if I saw that claim, I'd think you were a liar. I know who you supply to. Probably not.
Yeah. If you couldn't back up that claim, I'm pretty sure you'd be shut down pretty quickly.
Um, as you walk in, there's a man behind a counter who seems to be carving an arrow shaft with different symbols as you're walking in. And you just hear a small voice come from the strangely young-looking man that just says, "I'll be but a moment. What could I do you for?"
I'm in the I'm in the market for I'm in the market for arrows designed for a short bow with a draw weight of about 60 pounds.
What kind of targets are you looking to bring down?
Um, medium, medium size game and if the occasion should call for it, I'll look myself up and down. Somebody about my stature, lightly covered in furs, but mostly medium-sized game.
Well, I can supply to you a mix of arrows. Arrows with vertical arrowheads and with horizontals. For slipping through the rib cages of your preferred prey.
That would work wonderfully. As well as if the need called for it, do you perhaps have any? Oh God, what are they called?
Ban hammer time.
I forget what. I forget what they're called. If need be, I would also like the chance to have some arrows with bodkin tips. Not many.
Ah, to punch through armor, eh?
I'm a traveler. You see, some brigands are more heavily armored than others.
Ah, see, here I thought you were going to attempt a frontal assault of the Grand Palace. He hasn't looked up from the runes he's carving in that arrow.
I'm not quite so
Audacious?
prideful, audacious, yes.
A pity. I love the audacious ones.
I have my moments of grandeur, but very few of audacity.
He looks up from this arrow he's been carving, sees all of the sigils of sorrow, eyes go wide and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I've kept you waiting like this."
Thinking you weren't waiting. He was placing an order.
No offense was taken in your actions, I can assure you.
One's craft is delicate, anyhow. I shall be in need of some arrows as well. My short bow is not quite as heavy of a draw. I'm somewhat lacking in the strength department.
Do you have these bows with you?
Of course.
I'll reach into the bag of holding and rummage around for a second before pulling.
I probably would have had Sparrow store mine.
Given what I know of this bag of holding, what you reach in, you'll box the same box, the same box, the same box, the same box. Ah, there's the bow.
Yeah, it's like so. Reaching into it, you hear, it's like box, like a glass tank, like some a wood thunk, a different acoustic wood thunk, and then pulling the bow.
Because
He takes.
Sorry. I feel like carrying a short bow in the middle of town would be kind of weird.
Yeah, that's why it's in the bag. In the bag.
He takes both of them. He tests the draws. He looks at the measurements of them. Is kind of noting this all individually, and he just unceremoniously takes both of your one of you takes both of your arms and holds them out. And then he twists like your torso slightly using your arms. Then he does this to the other person.
Sparrow has a surprisingly long wingspan.
Oh, he's going to comment on that.
It's like normally your wingspan is supposed to be like
You're
you know
right.
like
Your
your height.
height.
Arrows is like maybe weirdly enough like maybe 2 inches taller than their height. Like somewhere between 2 to 4 inches taller than like their wingspan is 2 to 4 inches taller than they are height. That's that Feywild influence.
Is that
You've got long arms.
my dad?
I I've spent some time abroad.
I didn't know traveling could do that to you. Else I should travel more, I suppose.
I wouldn't be traveling to where I've been.
Would not recommend.
He very casually puts a hand on Farrah's shoulders and just says, "Oh, I only explore places I've never been," and winks. And then he looks at Absolution. And my lovely dear, what pray tell are you hunting with these?
Sometimes it's just hunting for game, but once again, I am a traveling companion, so there are times when I will have to go against foes of the humanoid variety. I am quite adept at aiming in the open spaces, though.
He just nods, walks back behind this counter, and just goes to different buckets of arrows he has, and fills up 6 quivers with arrows. Hands one to each of you at the same time, and says, "Game arrows."
Mhm.
Grabs the second one. People arrows. And then the third ones, which are all the bodkins, and it's just like particularly stubborn people arrows.
How would you describe it?
Okay, yeah. Particularly stubborn. That is indeed how I would describe an armored target.
Yep.
Fantastic. And like on instinct because privilege I'll never get used to. And how much would that run us?
I'll just let Sorrow know you were by.
Right.
We'll never get used to that.
He buys in bulk. He gets a discount.
Oh. Most appreciated, my goodman. And
Oh, please. My friends call me Charlie.
No, I must say I am somewhat curious as to what the inscription you were doing on that arrow when we came in.
He grabs it out of the vice that he was holding it in, and just hands it to you. It's in Sylvan, but it's in, like... You know how, like, people will do that, like, hearts for their eyes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It is stylistically like that, but in the Sylvan script.
Which I do not know.
Fine, I got you.
Sylvan goes Elvish, I think.
Okay.
I got you. I know specifically Sylvan.
Okay, great.
gang.
But all it really says is, the thought of you pierces my heart as this would any target.
Ah. How sweet.
Yes, I don't know who I'm going to give it to yet. Oh, wait, I just found out. And he hands it to Sparrow.
There's a moment of pause. And like the mask, his mask is 100% like hiding his face, but there's a Um, I, I, oh,
No need to be shy. You can come back
no,
anytime.
he'll take it. He'll take it.
Yeah, no, he literally just says, "Oh, no need to be shy. You can come back whenever you like." And he runs his fingers underneath Sparrow's chin as he
Okay.
walks back behind his counter, grabs another arrow, and is just idly carving into it now on the vice.
Are we?
Not the same thing. You can immediately tell he's not carving the same thing into
Are
it.
we,
He's-
is that right? Are we is that our trip for the day? Are we like reaching into their mask to like adjust it?
I do believe so.
Sans finding roles for me, I suppose. No,
What else are you looking for, love?
Nothing. Just unlike them, I don't do arrows. I'm quite adept at spell slinging.
Oh,
It's just
a fellow, a friend, a companion. And he snaps his fingers, and prestidigitation sparks fly in front of you.
she does finger guns for her. That's a digitation.
Ah, you probably have a duel of magics then. And he does it again, just like firing it off the tips of his fingers.
No need to burn down your store today. Anyway, yes, I was just looking to round out the repertoire, as it were, and she once again pulls out this book that she definitely, like, seriously, has never used before. It has spells in it. Yeah, she hands over the book. It is every spell that she knows. She just doesn't need it to cast.
He's like staring at them for a long period. You and I use very different types of notation.
Isn't that the point of a spell book, though?
Oh, absolutely. But there are some things that should be, I don't know, slightly more similar, according to my education. But, you know, what do I know? I run a shop for a living.
Some things just come reflexively. They don't need to be written down. At least not in my book.
There are those with that talent, yes. Unfortunately, I never was one.
Alas.
I have no talent nor intelligence, as it turns out.
Peek back at the arrow. No, that's not true.
So has said every talented and intelligent person.
No, I've never seen. You know, I've never heard Sorrow say such. So I do believe your words are false. Do you intend to lie to me, love?
Who knows? Maybe my troubles got to me more than I thought they did. I was around liars for a very, very long time.
Well, keep that tongue in check. Tongue in check. Or I may force your mouth shut. I know I'm hitting some people right in their gay little hearts, so
Mask adjustment.
and I'm talking about my players, by the way, not the characters.
And it be both.
But what sort of spells are you looking for, my dear? Anything in particular?
More utility than damage. No need for any kind of player brain pause. Don't need like any kind of ray of sickness or anything. I was just looking for disguised selves and other such utility.
You're in luck. Come, come. And he waves all of you into, like, behind the door of his shop. Like, to the door that's behind his counter.
Yeah. The second time I've been in the back room today.
Yep. But in this back room, you can see all kinds of scrolls and different vials and sorts of things.
Much better.
He grabs a pot of ink, hands it to her, and says, I have a couple of such scrolls. Here, let me find them. Here's a disguised self. And he hands it back.
It takes a second to write these. This is actually important.
Anything else in particular you're looking for, love?
Right, that was scrolls. Oh. Well, I know I did no damage, but I was looking for Thunderwave earlier too. Just useful.
Thunderwave. Thunderwave. Aha! As you look at the scrolls, they're also written in that kind of, like, using the hearts for dotting the I's kind of script. Because, you know, that's who this guy is. Very flowery.
Very flowery. Let's see, what other spells? I already have Hold Person. It was the second level I was looking at earlier. I was looking at a Circle spot earlier. I forgot everything because I kind of wrote off the shopping trip entirely.
He's not going to have anything else useful for you, by the way. He
That's
just
fine.
has your first two options.
That's fine. That's totally fine. She
I'm just letting you
asked-
know that because, like, I don't want to have to go through all of the rest of them in terms of, like, the roleplay.
It's
But
fine.
I can hit you with anything else, and then when you ask for the next thing, it's like, oh no, sorry, love.
Well, no, light reduce. No, alright, that's fine. Darkness. No, that's. You know what? It was still way more than I had before.
I will keep an eye out for such spells and their scroll work.
Please, I would deeply appreciate it.
Well, that would involve me needing to be able to write them, but, you know, talentless that I am.
Again, all falls up to scrolls. Not true.
Why, thank you, my dear. And he takes your hand and gently kisses the back of your hand.
First network.
No,
By the
is there
way, for y'all players, yeah, Faye is even prettier today than she was yesterday. That's what it is.
She's a little more magnetic today than she was yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Like, no, that does me.
He looks at Mouser and just does the whole, like, bite to the inner lip, just like, and you? Big strong man like you, I could do something for, I'm sure.
Alright, that's it.
And Mouser's just like, no, I don't, well, I do use such weapons of war, but I have plenty of arrows in stock, and my bow has been bent. Nothing I would need from you. To which he just says, oh, what a shame. Well, if you ever change your mind, you know where to find me. Oh, and the young man, hiding behind the helmet. Don't worry, you're safe for now. You're a little young for my taste. Free just having a fucking... You can see him blushing through the helmet.
You want me to blast him.
And I know better than to harass you. The other guard just gives him a thumbs up. Well, is there anything else I can... Somebody else walks into the shop, and it's just, oh, hello! What can I do you for? These fine folks have just about tried to buy me out of arrows. If you can believe it, you probably should buy them quickly before they, decide to take more of my stock.
For the sake of convenience, Faye hands the scrolls over to Sparrows for the bag.
Put it in the bag.
She doesn't have any place to really hold on to them. She really does not want them to get stolen. It's a big deal for her.
Is that all the shopping you guys want to do for the day?
I think so.
See, that's me.
Got my
Need potions. I will ask Sorrow because last time it worked really well.
arrows. Got my box of general goods. That's me.
And yes, that shopkeeper is flagrantly bisexual.
Yeah, I've noticed.
But he's endearing and doting onto everyone because he thinks people are great.
As it turns out, people hot. Just all people, especially a party full of charisma characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No. Two charisma casters and a particularly charismatic rogue.
Man, who could have ever guessed that this party would turn heads?
Right.
But, when we do get back to the to Sarah's place, I will probably try to hunt down the seamstress and put in for a court gown, actually, because she's like, I feel like I'm going to need this at some point.
And Faye will retrieve the scrolls from the bag of holding and get to work transcribing them.
You get told by the seamstress that a set of fine clothes will be made for you. Well, more accurately, you get told that it is already in the process of being made for you.
Go forward.
Of course, Sarah did.
And, I mean, you're right on the nose. We're going to need them eventually. So,
Sorrow, something like 10 steps ahead of literally everyone. Sorrow of the philosophy of luck is where preparedness meets opportunity.
I would also not be surprised to have, like, fucking basket of spells dropped on me in a couple levels. Like, oh shit, you have third level spell slot? Here.
So when you guys get done with the shopping and talking to the seamstress, there's a dinner. It goes as usual. Sir Stefan eats something like 9 peach cobblers.
Only 9 today.
Because that's just what he do. And
Hey.
then you guys could all head to bed for the evening. I think this is a good place to end this session.
Yeah.
And we're going to skip a few days to go ahead.
Yep. I'm maybe we gotta have a small little talk about the homebrew mechanics here.
The what?
The challenges of giving a sorcerer the spell book. Sorcerer who is not a prepared cast. Don't need to prepare these. So
No, I think it's just kind of something that because of her education fits the theme and the loring.
Yep.
So I'm willing to bend that a little bit just to
just want to make sure because they could
just maintain that
absolutely
flavor.
mark. Yeah, I agree. I could definitely mark off which spells are sorcerer and which ones are from the spell book. But
well, I'm not going to be worried about that so much.
Yeah.
I don't think you are your fellow players worried about that at all.
Nope.
alright.
Nope.
Well, then,
Do you guys
What
think that
else?
Kazu's trying to do this so you can outshine the other players in the game?
So, My wife has 100% given a sorcerer a spell book to learn more spells before.
I mean, like, sorcerers got buffed in 2024's global to have almost 50% more spells. That was like me catching up to that, basically.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. Honestly,
Uh,
even if it's more than that, I'm not too terribly worried about it.
And with
Just
that,
simply for the fact that, well, um, you're a party of 3,
yeah.
so giving you guys a little bit extra in any given category probably is just better in general.
we
Um,
got to pull away 2 people, so
yeah, so I'm not terribly worried about that from that sense, but also, like, if I give you guys extra power, it just means I can throw bigger stuff at you.
Yeah, not to
That's
mention,
correct.
like, it gives you some versatility, but it's not like you're getting extra spell slots from it.
correct. I already have too many.
And on top of that, I'm more interested in seeing what you can do with it creatively than I am in, like, this is going to hurt the game, because already all of you can do a lot with the things you already have.
I'm
And I'm
just a
going to
little
be
bit of a
giving you
skill
more
monkey.
things anyway. So you guys are currently level what, 4?
Yes.
I expect. Well, I expect that you guys are going to be a little surprised at some of the extra power you get next level.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I got some plants.
Fun times. I love those.
Yeah, I'm not terribly worried about, like, the power scaling, because again, I enjoy giving my players some extra power anyway, which you guys know with the HP ruling.
Yes.
Which, you guys almost got put on your ass in that first combat anyway
Yeah,
for a couple
I
of
know.
people. So it's not like the power scaling is going to be a problem.
It's like, hold on, because the reason we have to like, yes, if we were going by normal D&D stuff, our characters would be broken. However, we had a 4v 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We had a 4v12. We had a 4v12 at level. We had a 4v12 at level 3.
We do not come out unscathed either.
Right? Like, that's the kind of odds we're going up against. Like, we're not.
Yeah. And like there'll be times where and like that not only that, but that was technically like an ambush.
Yeah, and we got
Like
it. Yeah, and we got the prize. So, like, yes, we are powerful, but also this world isn't holding back.
because I also expect there to be times where we actually do get to do some strategy and planning and like we know we're going to be fighting certain things and that'll go a little bit differently than if we didn't
Getting
have
jumped by
than getting jumped.
terror,
Yeah.
by terror and fear and their fucking 10 lackeys, yeah. Being literally surrounded.
Yeah.
Sound of madness was what I was looking for earlier. Yeah, well, that's next time.
It'll be a lot of fun to be able to like strategize things. Like that I enjoy strategic combat.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, I was, like, looking at a lot of that kind of a thing too, and just
It's why I sometimes wish there was like an intelligence-based fighter that was all about like knowing how to do things rather than necessarily just raw strength or
It's
whatever.
weird because, like, Battlemaster kind of touches on that, but not fully. Like,
Yeah.
it's. Like, Battlemaster's, like, getting a taste of that and wishing that, like, this was just, like, a whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Because fight smarter. I like the idea of I may be physically weaker than you, but I will outsmart you or I will outlast you.
Like, I'm going to out. Thank you.
Yeah. Or possibly I will trick you into doing what I want to do and make you think you're the one that wanted to do it. But with that, I will do a raid for the stream. We will be raiding my good friend Scully. And if you are subscribed to me, you can use this raid message. Otherwise, this one will work as well. And we'll be heading that way.
Yep.
Where the hell is my ending? There it is.
In the land of crystal skies, wings of ice they mesmerize, dancing through the frozen air, draconic fairy bright and rare, sparkling breath of frosty glow, chasing dreams in ice and snow, through the valleys high and low, magic where the chill winds blow. Playful dragon, fairy of ice, whisper secrets cold and nice, gliding on the winter's breeze, spreading wonder with such ease. Frosty fields and icy trees, echoes of her laughter please. Every step a frosty touch, mystic charm and joy as such. When the twilight starts to fade, in the worlds of friends she's made, secrets of the frost unfold, stories ancient never told. Playful dragon, fairy of ice, whisper secrets cold and nice, gliding on the winter's breeze, spreading wonder with such ease. Playful dragon, fairy of ice, whisper secrets cold and nice, gliding on